ChatGPT, it's not just that transformer neural nets are cool, but it's that you can take AI approaches that have been around a long time, you throw more data and processing behind them, and wow, they can do things you didn't imagine. So I think the same thing can happen with logic engines, the same thing can happen with evolutionary learning, the same thing can happen with rewrite rule systems. There's a lot of AI paradigms that have been around a long time. I think in the next few years, we're going to see what happens when you throw more and more processing and data between all these different AI paradigms. There's going to be one after another things even more amazing than ChatGPT, bing, 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 over the next few years. It's going to be quite an exciting time. And you know, what impact it's going to have socially and economically, none of us can foresee in detail, but we can see a few of the aspects here, right? So, I mean, I think there is going to be an inflection point, just like ChatGPT was sort of a black swan event, and that's an inflection point. There's going to be another inflection point when we see AGI systems that clearly have the self-understanding, the understanding of themselves and the world, the ability to innovate and to think in a grounded way that humans do. There's going to be a black swan threshold event where we leap from these very powerful yet narrow systems to true AGIs. And then there's going to be another black swan threshold event after that when these human-level AIs rewrite their own code and redesign themselves to become much smarter than people, which is what you can call artificial superintelligence or ASI. And I think both of these other black swan events are going to come not that long from now, like during the lifetimes of almost all of us, maybe in 3, 5, 7, 8, 10 years from now, right? And so that, the ethical implications of the second of these black swan events, the threshold where we get to artificial superintelligence, I mean, people have speculated a lot about that. I've written a lot about it. Certainly, if a superintelligence is well disposed toward humans, it could create a form of utopia. If the superintelligence is not well disposed toward humans, it could, turn all our atoms into extra hard drive for its memory or something, right? So, I mean, this has been explored in science fiction and the media considerably, and I mean, it's certainly a worthwhile thing to think about. I don't think we can have any absolute guarantee about what happens after this sort of transition. I do think we can bias things in a positive direction by doing things like creating AGIs that are capable of empathy and compassion, and having these AGIs do positive things like medicine, education, and science, rather than kill people, spy on people, and sell things people that they don't need. But then when we think about the earlier transition, the transition to AGI, and the phase before that, when we have narrow AI systems that can do maybe 50, 70, 80% of human jobs, even if they don't have general intelligence, then there's a lot of hard thinking to do about the implications of this for human society, right? And I mean, of course, I could give a whole other talk on that. I mean, I think that in the developed world, you're going to see universal basic income roll out relatively soon. In the developing world, there's not enough money to give people universal basic income unless we see a global wealth redistribution, which may be difficult to come by. And there's a lot of unpleasant things one could see resulting from global wealth inequality in a scenario where advanced narrow AIs or early stage human level AGIs can do a majority of human jobs, right? And I think technology can help with this in some ways. I mean, we're working with some AI developers in Africa on speech-to-speech machine translation for every African language, and on cryptocurrency-based payment systems to help roll out work outsourcing across different language groups in different African countries. Technology can help to some degree, but I mean, there are some things that you really need human compassion and more, global equality to help with. So I think to sum up, because I'm out of time, I think LLMs, ChatGPT, open source LLMs are really important technologies. Equal importance at least to the internet or mobile phones, maybe more so. On the other hand, I think we have over the next few years, we're going to see a wave of even more important technological innovations rolling out, and we're going to see LLMs and similar systems take over perhaps a majority of human jobs in coming years. We're going to see a transition to systems that are really as generally intelligent as people, then a following transition a few years after that to systems that